This is for all the marbles. Feel the excitement, the electricity, the tension growing and mounting here at the Civic Center Coliseum in the final round of action in the AA playoff between the Northfork. What are they?
Blue Demons.
The Blue Demons
Right.
and the Williamson Wolfpack. And we have a guy by the name of Ray Hudnall that's going to give you the exciting play-by-play. I'm Harry Anthony, and on camera, if the guy misses it, it's his fault. That's David Newcomb. He's been right here doing a lot of those picture taking. And wow, this has just, been a fantastic tournament. Great turnout by every school. It's just been just super. And I don't think I've seen a bad game here at all. All right, we have the, we'll have the invocation.
Can everyone please have Dear Lord, we thank you for bringing us here today for this occasion. Please bless each player, spectator, and coach, so that this game will be played with sportsmanship, peace, and good feelings between each team. Keep each teammate safe and help them to play to the best of their ability. Give them your guidance, encouragement, and stay with them throughout this game. Amen.
All right, that was the invocation given by Miss Melissa Minton of Herbert Hoover High School. And now Greg Raines will sing the national anthem.
After this 1983.
I heard by way of the grapevine, Ray, that the Williamson Wolfpack was, they were trying to hide Mark Klein's shoes. Somebody told me they were going to nail him to the floor out here and put Mark in him so he couldn't move.
Is that the strategy?
Yeah.
It may take something like that to stop him.
So we're going to have an introduction of all of the squad, so let's see if we can't pick those up.
He's at center court for Williamson's head coach, Alan Hunter. Williamson assistant coaches, Hank Flowers and Earl Robbins. For Northfork, manager David Bell. And staff Randall White. Miles Gibson, George Peoples. For Williamson, Brian Haney, John Taylor. Charleston Lions Club host market, Purity. And for Williamson, Frank Hama. Now let's meet the squad. For Northfork, number 21, Ricky Helm. Williamson 14, Steve Thorne. For the Blue Demons, number 41, Jerome Johnson. And for the Wolfpack, number 4, Brian Hatfield. Northfork 31, Donald Dickerson. Williamson's 24, Billy Curry. For the Blue Demons, number 13, Jamie Shelton. For the Wolfpack, number 32, Mark Purge. Northfork's 23, Morgan Harrison. Williamson's number 20, Jerome Wells. For the Blue Demons, number 15 is James Barton. For the Wolfpack, number 23 is Dwayne Gaten. For Northfork, 25, Keith Hairston. And for Williamson, number 40, Rusty Tackett. Now let's meet the starting five. For Northfork, at guard, 5'9", senior, number 35, John Durant. For Williamson, at guard, 5'9", junior, number 5, Walt Silver. For the Blue Demons, at guard,
They didn't get a chance to nail his shoes down. He came walking right out there like they were going to, play the game like normal. And it's tough for a team to beat a team twice in one season, and this is what has happened. Williamson has already beaten Northfork twice this year.
This is the third game between the two schools. All right, now Greg Rains will sing the national anthem. Student at Herbert Hoover High School.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight, while the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Well, are you ready?
I'm ready for a good old-fashioned Southern West Virginia basketball shootout.
Yeah, right. And this promises to be that kind. And all brought you away by the First Clark National Bank down in Northfork, and the Elkhorn Valley Grocery, Northfork Pharmacy, Tompkins Furniture, Davidson's Grocery, and K&K Cablevision down there. So you folks, are all happy to be part of this videotape reproduction of the AA High School Championship Bash here at the Civic Center. The 70th annual to be exact. And last year, Wheeling Central took the crown home. And of course, Williamson put the hat on Wheeling Central. And Northfork put the hat on Grafton. And that's how these two teams got to be here, right?
Right. Getting ready for the start of action here in this AA championship game from the Charleston Civic Center. Williamson starts Childress and Phillips at guards. Jamie Phillips at center. That's John Phillips at one guard. John Copley and Mark Klein are the forwards. And very briefly, the Northfork starting lineup. John Durant and Jerry Saunders at guards. Curtis Ray is the center. And the forwards are John Davis and Antonio Martin. As referee George Pack gets ready to throw the ball up, we're just about to get underway. And there is the tip, controlled by Williamson's John Phillips. Gets it out front to Walt Childress. Williamson wearing the white uniforms, attacking at the basket to the left here in the first half. Here's the shot taken from the left wing by John Phillips. High off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Antonio Martin of Northfork. And up the floor come the Blue Demons. John Durant with it out front for Northfork. Takes the shot from the top of the key and hits it. John Durant scoring for the Blue Demons. It's 2-0. Here's a pass intercepted in the backcourt. Antonio Martin with it. He comes into the lane, puts it up from 5 feet in front of the basket, no good. And on the rebound, there's a whistle and a foul called. The officials for this game are Eddie Elmore and George Pack, both members of the Southern Board. Foul was called on John Davis, number 43 of the Blue Demons. That's the first foul of the ball game. This is Jamie Phillips with it now for Williamson. Gets it to Mark Klein, top of the key. Out front to Childress. Childress dribbles in toward the top of the key. Goes to the left side to Phillips. To Klein on the right side. Back out front to Childress. Mark Klein takes it. 20-footer angle right. In and out, no good. Rebounded by number 45, Curtis Ray of Northfork. Gets it to Saunders. Jerry Saunders is this team's ball handler. He brings it into the foul circle, takes the jumper from the line. No good. Rebounded by Jamie Phillips in the left corner, and Phillips is fouled as he comes down with the rebound. Number 55, Antonio Martin, committing the foul. That is his first, the team's second here in the first half. It's a non-shooting foul. The Wolfpack will inbound the ball in the backcourt. Throwing it in is John Phillips. Gets it into Childress. Back to John Phillips now. Over to Childress again as they work the ball up the floor. Here's a long pass up court to Jamie Phillips. He comes in toward the lane, takes the jumper. Air ball, no good. Rebound to Martin of Northfork. Gets it over to John Durant. Here comes Durant, straight up the middle, goes to the right of the lane now. Saunders takes the shot from the right corner, no good, rebounded by Mark Klein. And the ball is batted away and stolen by Northfork. Martin with it. Comes into the right of the lane, holds up now. Gets it to Saunders at the foul line. Saunders takes the shot from there and hangs it in there. Jerry Saunders scoring for Northfork. 4-0, Blue Demons. 6 minutes and 5 seconds to go here in the first quarter as Jamie Phillips brings it up the floor for Williamson. Gets it up to John Phillips. Into the right corner to Mark Klein. He drives in toward the lane, lays it up, it's good. And he was fouled. What a move by Mark Klein coming into the lane. A shovel shot from in front of the basket. Goes through for him. And now he'll have a chance at a three-point play at the line. The foul was called on
number 45.
Curtis Ray, number 45, the Northfork center. At the line is All-American Mark Klein. He averages 30 points a game for the Pack. And he completes the three-point play and pulls his team back to within one at 4-3. Saunders with it now for Northfork. Pass over to John Durant. He dribbles up, left side at quarter court. Gets it over to Saunders on the right wing. Saunders takes the shot and hits it. Jerry Saunders scoring for Northfork. His second basket. It's 6-3. The Blue Demons lead it. John Phillips in the backcourt for Williamson. Gets it up to Mark Klein now. Klein comes into the right wing, takes the shot, in and out, no good. Rebounded by Antonio Martin. Over to Saunders. And the Blue Demons cross the timeline. Saunders dribbles in toward the foul circle. Takes the jumper from the left of the foul line, extended, no good. It's rebounded by John Durant. He puts up the shot from the key, no good. Rebounded underneath by Martin. His follow-up won't go. And on the rebound, the ball is batted out of bounds. It's out to Williamson in the backcourt. Last touched by the Blue Demons. Jamie Phillips will throw it in for the number 1 ranked Wolfpack. Gets it back now. And Phillips is fouled in the backcourt. Foul called on Jerry Saunders, number 11. That is the 4th team foul on Northfork here in the first half. Williamson has yet to commit a foul. It's Saunders' first personal. A non-shooting foul. Williamson will inbound the ball in the backcourt. John Phillips will throw it into Saunders. All right, Jerry Saunders of Northfork receiving attention here along the near sideline in front of the Northfork bench. He was shaken up on that play in the backcourt. He fouled Jamie Phillips as Phillips attempted to bring the ball up the floor.
21, Ricky Helm checks in for Northfork.
Jerry Saunders kneeling in front of the Northfork bench, being administered to by trainer Red Hartman and coach Mark Page. He is escorted down to the end of the bench where they will work with him. Taking his place in the Northfork lineup is number 21, Ricky Helm. All right, back to the action. Childress with it for Williamson. Goes to the right side to John Phillips. Into the right of the lane to Mark Klein. He comes under, lays it up, no good. Tip, no good. Rebounded by Antonio Martin of Northfork. He clears it out to Ricky Helm. Helm comes straight down the middle for the Blue Demons. Pops it from the foul circle. High off the back of the rim, no good. Rebound fought for. It's on the floor. 2 players hit the deck. John Copley of Williamson and number 35, John Durant of Northfork. And they will jump it up in the Northfork foul circle to the right. 4:46 to go in the first quarter. It's 6-3 Northfork as Durant and Copley jump it up in the Northfork foul circle. Tip controlled by Williamson down to John Phillips. Over to Mark Klein now. Klein comes down the lane, lays it up good. Klein shows 5 points on the afternoon. It's 6-5. Northfork leads by 1. John Durant with it outside for the Blue Demons. Gets it on the right wing to Ricky Helm. Into the foul circle to Antonio Martin. He takes the shot from the foul line, a 16-footer, and hits it. That's Martin's first basket. He averages 20 per game for the Blue Demons, and it's 8-5 Northfork. Copley with the ball now in the left corner. Back out to Childress. Childress dribbles laterally to his right. Gets it to John Phillips near the right corner. Back to Childress, top of the key. He comes down the lane. Takes the 5-footer from in front of the basket. No good. Rebounded by number 43, John Davis of Northfork. Up the floor. His pass underneath, intended for Curtis Ray. Goes beyond the inline, out of bounds, just beyond the outstretched fingertips of Curtis Ray. It will belong to Williamson in the backcourt. Childress gets the inbounds pass. Gives it back to John Phillips now. John Phillips dribbles up the floor cautiously to Jamie Phillips now on the right wing. Into the right of the lane to Mark Klein. Klein brings it back out. Out front to Childress and back to Klein on the right wing. Klein's pass into Jamie Phillips now. Turnaround shot from the lane is no good. Rebounded underneath by Copley. Put back up, no good. Klein picks up the loose ball and puts it in. And Mark Klein has all 7 of the Wolfpack points. It's 8-7 Northfork. Here is Antonio Martin taking the shot from the left of the lane and hanging it in there. That's Martin's second basket of the game. 10-7 Northfork. Back the other way. Mark Klein comes into the lane, has the ball batted away and stolen by Northfork. And as number 43, John Davis, brings the ball up the floor. Was it a traveling violation? I missed that.
Yeah, palming the ball.
All right, Davis palms the ball as he brings it up the floor. So it will belong to Williamson now. The Wolfpack inbounds the ball from the far sideline. John Phillips has it back to Childress now out front. To John Phillips on the right wing. Over to Mark Klein. Left of the foul circle. Klein pops it. It's off the front of the rim. No good. Rebounded underneath by John Davis, co-captain of the Blue Demons. Up the floor they come. Antonio Martin drives into the lane. And as he goes, he was fouled. Foul is called on Williamson's Jamie Phillips, number 21. That is the first foul of the ball game against the Wolfpack.
I think it should be a shooting foul, but it's not.
They're giving it out to Northfork beyond the inline, underneath the Blue Demons basket. Inbounds pass to Martin. Out front now to Helm. They work it around to the right side. Durant takes the shot from the right wing. No good. It's rebounded on the left side by number 43, John Davis, and put back in. 12-7 now. Northfork by 5. Mark Klein drives into the left of the lane. His turnaround shot is no good, but as he went up, he was fouled. Foul is called on Northfork's number 43, John Davis. That's his second. It's the team's 5th.
Team foul.
Mark Klein will go to the line for Williamson for 2 shots.
Klein returns to the line for 2.
This is the 3rd meeting of the season between these two schools. Williamson won both of the earlier encounters. The first one by a score of 83-69. The second one, 87-81, so it was a little closer the second time. Klein hits the foul shot.
Reports in for Williamson.
Makes it 12-8. Steve Thorne, number 14, enters the Williamson lineup, replacing Walt Childress. Here's Klein's second shot. It's good. Mark Klein has all 9 of the Wolfpack's points, and it's 12-9 Northfork. 2:30 to go in the first period. John Durant with it out front. They swing it around to the left side now. Shot taken from the left wing is good. Number 43, John Davis, swishing it through. It's 14-9. The Blue Demons lead by 5. John Phillips with the ball, gets it to Mark Klein. Klein is guarded by Helm. Out front to Steve Thorne. Back to Klein on the left side, and Klein is called for traveling.
He shuffled his feet too many times, I think.
I believe he did. He was getting ready to make a move that time to drive toward the basket. Moved his feet before he dribbled the basketball. Turns it over to Northfork. John Davis with it, dribbling up to the left wing for Northfork. Back out front, the ball is moved to number 35, John Durant. Here's Davis taking the shot. Off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Thorne of Williamson. Up the floor he comes. His pass, intended for Mark Klein, underneath the basket, goes out of bounds. It will belong to Northfork. That pass was tipped by a Northfork defender. And then it went off Klein's fingertips out of bounds. The Blue Demons control it. Number 35 with it out front, John Durant, guarded by John Phillips. Comes to the right wing to Ricky Helm. Ball batted away momentarily by Thorne, but picked back up by Helm. This is number 45 with it, Curtis Ray. Back out front to Durant. Durant is one of the 2 Northfork co-captains. Ricky Helm now drives toward the right baseline, into the right of the lane, takes the 5-footer, it's no good. Rebounded by John Phillips of Williamson. Long pass up the floor to Jamie Phillips. Jamie comes under and scores it for the Wolfpack.
I don't understand how he even kept his balance, Ray. On the side of his shoes and on the side.
That's right. That was Jamie Phillips scoring the first basket for Williamson other than those scored by Mark Klein. It's 14-11. Shot taken from in front of the basket, no good. Rebounded by Klein of Williamson. Gets it up the floor to Steve Thorne. We're under a minute to play now in the first quarter. 55 seconds to go. John Phillips with the ball on the right wing. Into Copley in the lane. John Copley comes under. His layup is no good, but he was fouled on the play.
Number 45.
Foul called on Curtis Ray, number 45 of the Blue Demons. That's his second. John Copley will go to the line for Williamson for 2 shots.
John Copley at the line.
14-11 ball game. North Fork has led throughout. 49 seconds to go in the first quarter. Copley's shot is good. Makes it 14-12.
41, Jerome Johnson.
Number 41, Jerome Johnson enters the North Fork lineup, replacing Curtis Ray, number 45. So Ray gets a breather, and Johnson enters the lineup for the Blue Demons. Copley's second shot is good. Brings the Pack to within 1 at 14-13. And that's as close as they've been in some time. Here is Jerry Saunders bringing it up the floor for North Fork, guarded by Steve Thorne outside. 39 seconds to go now. Right side to Durant. He backs it back out of there, guarded by John Phillips. Out front to Saunders. Around to the left side now to John Davis. Back to Saunders out front. Saunders guarded closely by Thorne. Saunders drives around Thorne, goes to the left of the lane, takes the jumper off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Antonio Martin. Jump shot from the left baseline is no good. Rebounded by Mark Klein. 14 seconds to go in the first quarter as Klein brings it up. Gets it over to Jamie Phillips. We're down to 10 seconds. John Phillips takes the shot and hits it from the left of the foul line extended. John Phillips gives Williamson its first lead of the ball game at 15-14. Saunders comes back the other way for North Fork, tries a shot at the buzzer. It's no good. And that brings us to the end of the first quarter. The score after 1 period of play, Williamson 15 and North Fork 14. We'll be back in 1 minute with the start of the second quarter.
Now, 15-14 is the count, and Williamson took it at about 16 seconds left, and Mark Klein gets that tap.
Right, and that is the first lead of the ball game for the Wolfpack. Klein takes the shot, top of the key, 22-footer, and hangs it in there. All-American Mark Klein shows 11 points thus far in the ball game. He hits the first basket here in the second quarter, and Williamson leads by 3 at 17-14. Shot blocked underneath by the Pack. Down the floor they come. Jamie Phillips comes into the lane. Takes the running one-hander from that spot. It's no good, but there's a whistle and a foul called
on Phillips, I believe.
Jamie Phillips is called for an offensive foul. That's his second foul.
There's only 2 team fouls, and he's got them both.
Right, Jamie Phillips is called for the personal. 17-14. Williamson leads by 3. Here is Saunders with the ball for the Blue Demons. Gets it over to John Durant. Durant goes into the key to number 43, John Davis, and as he starts down the lane, he's called for traveling. That will nullify that basket by Davis. Violation turns the ball over to Williamson in the backcourt. John Phillips with it, gets it up to Jamie Phillips. Phillips crosses the timeline, back to John now, out near midcourt. Right wing to Steve Thorne. Thorne holds it over his head. Hits Mark Klein with the top of the key. Klein comes inside the foul circle and pops it in there, good. Mark Klein, 13 points thus far in the afternoon. Williamson, 19. North Fork, 14. The Wolfpack increases its lead to 5. Here's Davis with the ball. On the left side, pass into the lane to Antonio Martin, and he comes down the lane and lays it in. Big, strong move that time by Antonio Martin. He has 3 field goals. Steve Thorne back the other way for Williamson, misses the layup, but Klein rebounds underneath and scores. Mark Klein, 15 points in the ball game. 21-16 Williamson. This is Davis with the ball on the left wing for North Fork. Takes the 15-footer from there and swishes it through. John Davis scores his 3rd field goal of the game. 21-18. Williamson by 3. Steve Thorne in the backcourt gets it up to Jamie Phillips. Phillips double team now along the far sideline. Bounce pass to Klein. Mark Klein comes into the lane, lays it up, no good. Rebound goes out of bounds beyond the inline. It will belong to the Blue Demons in the backcourt. Last touched by the Wolfpack. Saunders throws it in to Davis and gets it back. Saunders guarded by Thorne now in the backcourt. Comes straight down the middle, brings it across the timeline, backs it back out of there to Davis on the left side. Davis holds it over his head. He's guarded by All-American Mark Klein. Gets it to Saunders out front. Right side to Durant. He pops the shot from 15, no good. Rebounded by Mark Klein. Up the floor, long pass to John Phillips, just beyond his fingertips, out of bounds.
Well, that's a gallant effort, wasn't it?
Certainly was.
Super gallant effort.
Pass intended for John Phillips goes out of bounds. The ball belongs to Northfork now. Here's Antonio Martin with it, coming down to the left of the lane. Brings it back outside. Gets it out front to Saunders. Left wing to Davis. Davis shoots it. He swishes it through. John Davis has found his spot over there near the left sideline. And he continues to bombard the basket with those long-range bombs. It's 21-20 now. The lead is cut to 1. And Northfork gets the ball back as number 35 brings it up the floor. That's John Durant. Fakes the shot from the key. Instead, passes under to Jerome Johnson. And Johnson lays it in. And the Blue Demons have retaken the lead at 22-21. Timeout for the Wolfpack. We have 5:17 to go in the second quarter. Northfork leads it 22-21.
Yeah, and we'd like to talk about all those fine folks down there in Northfork, like the First Clark National Bank. They're fine folks to deal with if you need a loan of any kind, or you got an IRA or whatever. They've got it all at the First Clark National. And I don't know what else to say except that the Elkhorn Valley grocery distributors are right there, and wholesalers are right there behind this Northfork Blue Demon all the way. And everybody down there, Northfork Pharmacy, just, super place to, get your prescriptions filled. And if you need a special deal or need need a love seat or a living room suite, Tompkins Furniture is the place. And if you need to get some sustenance, it's in the Davidson Grocery. Sustenance, you like that?
I like that word. Yes, I do.
And if anybody's watching at somebody else's house and you're not on K&K Cable, you're missing all the good times, because there's more to see on K&K Cable TV in Northfork. How about that?
All right.
Oh, they're a bunch of good people down there, and they got a super fan club for these.
They're very supportive of the Northfork Blue Demons basketball program. Northfork, of course, today is seeking its 9th AA title in 10 years.
I had a thought, Ray, that Herbie Brooks scored 50 points the other night, and if Mark Klein keeps his pace up, he may surpass that.
I was thinking along those same lines myself, Harry. Here's a pass to John Copley in the right corner, and he is fouled by Jerome Johnson. Johnson came over his back. Copley will go to the line for Williamson.
Jerome Johnson is first.
That's Johnson's first foul. John Copley at the line for the Wolfpack on the 1-and-1. His shot is good. Copley hits the foul shot. He has 3 points on the afternoon. 22-22. Copley can give his team the lead, and he does. 23-22 now. Williamson over Northfork in this AA title game. The Wolfpack coming into the game as the #1 ranked team in the state of West Virginia. Shot taken now from the left of the lane. It misses, but there's a whistle and a foul called. Foul was on Williamson's Jamie Phillips, and that's his third. He has all 3 of the Williamson personals thus far. Going to the line for Northfork will be number 43, John Davis. Davis took the shot. He was fouled on the play. Substitution into the Williamson lineup, Walt Childress replaces Jamie Phillips. So Phillips hits the bench with 3 personals at the 5-minute mark of the second period. And John Davis gets ready to shoot the foul for Northfork. It's up, and it is in. Davis has 9 points in the game. It's 23-23. Davis gets ready now for his second attempt. Bounces the basketball, eyes the rim, puts it up. It's good. Northfork retakes the lead, 24-23. And it's been a good one here at the Civic Center so far. Copley with the basketball in the backcourt for Williamson. Gets it over to John Phillips. Across the timeline now, they work it to Mark Klein. Klein dribbles out front and gets it over to Steve Thorne. Thorne comes in toward the top of the key. Left side to John Phillips, rather. Back to Steve Thorne. Here's John Phillips along the left baseline. Feeds Mark Klein in the foul circle. Jumper from beyond the foul line is no good. Fight for the rebound. And Klein is called for the personal out front. Battling for the loose basketball.
42, Klein.
Mark Klein commits the foul. That's his first foul. The fourth team foul against Williamson here in the first half. It's a non-shooting foul. Northfork will inbound the ball in the backcourt. Saunders with it. Guarded by Steve Thorne. Dribbles it across the timeline. Comes to the right wing to Durant. Durant holds it over his head. Back to Saunders. Top of the key. Saunders pops it. No good. Off the rim. Rebound fought for. Batted way up in the air beyond the midcourt line.
What do you do that
Steve
for?
Thorne of Williamson. Thorne comes under. Misses the layup. Rebound fought for. Saunders comes out of there with it. The smallest player on the floor. Jerry Saunders into the foul circle. Hits the 15-footer from the foul circle.
What did he do that for? It wasn't backcourt, was it?
I think that's what was running through his mind. He was thinking that it was going to be a backcourt violation if he caught the ball. So he tried to tip it back across the line, and it went right to Steve Thorne of Williamson. Here's a pass underneath to Copley. Copley's layup is good. John Copley now has 6 points in the ball game. It's 26-25 in favor of Northfork. 3:36 to go in the second period. Antonio Martin with the basketball. It's stolen by Walt Childress, rather. There's a whistle and a foul called. Foul was on Antonio Martin of Northfork.
Number 50.
55, I believe. Antonio Martin, that's his second. Going to the line for Williamson will be Steve Thorne on the 1-and-1. Not Thorne, it's Walt Childress, rather, number 5. Childress prepares to shoot the foul shot on the 1-and-1. Eyes the basket, puts it up. It comes out of there on him. Rebounded underneath by Mark Klein and put in. Klein scoring it for the Wolfpack, giving Williamson the 27-26 lead. It's seesawed back and forth here throughout the first half. Shot taken by Durant from the top of the key. It brought rain, and it also swished through the net. And Northfork retakes the lead at 28-27. What a ball game this has been. Walt Childress brings it up floor for Williamson. He's double-teamed by Durant and Davis over there. His pass, intended for John Phillips, is intercepted. Antonio Martin coming up with the loose basketball, but he stepped on the sideline. Coach Mark Page now up off the Northfork bench, protesting that call. All right, referee Eddie Elmore gives the ball to John Phillips. He throws it into Steve Thorne. Right side now to Mark Klein. 20-footer is good from the right wing. Mark Klein hanging it in there. It's 29-28 Williamson. Durant with the basketball for Northfork. Top of the key to Saunders. Back to Durant on the right wing. He moves down toward the right corner. Gets it back to the top of the key to Saunders. Saunders starts down the lane, but he's called for steps. Traveling violation, turns the ball back over to Williamson. 2:39 to go in the second period. John Phillips will inbound the ball for the Pack. Gets it up floor to Steve Thorne. Thorne drives into the left of the lane. Back out front now to John Phillips. He hands it back to Thorne. On the right wing to Mark Klein. Klein brings it back outside, still dribbling between the rings. Steve Thorne with it now. Right side to Jamie Phillips. Back to Thorne. To John Phillips, rather, on the right wing. Here's Mark Klein taking the shot from outside. High off the rim, no good. Antonio Martin skies for the rebound for the Blue Demons. 2:06 to go in the first half. Durant with it, left wing to Davis. Takes the shot from over there, hits it. John Davis shows 5 field goals in the ball game, 12 points altogether. It's 30-29 as the Blue Demons retake the lead. Mark Klein with the basketball. Guarded out front by Durant. Gets it over to Thorne. Back to Klein, coming down the lane. Klein lays it in. Mark Klein scores for Williamson, and the Pack retakes the lead at 31-30 as the game continues to seesaw back and forth. And as the Blue Demons bring the ball up the floor, they take a timeout. With 1:37 to go in the first half, it's 31 for Williamson and 30 for Northfork.
Right, Ray, could you keep a running total on what Mark Klein has at this point? It should be close to 25 points, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, Klein has 21 to this point. That's 9 field goals, 3 for 3 at the foul line, total of 21.
He's really burning the cords. And who is what's this young man here from Northfork keeps blasting from, like you say, brought rain right out of the dust right off of the speaker holder hangers up here in the rafters at the Civic Center.
Right, John Davis has had the hot hand from the left side over there for Northfork. He's found his spot. He has 5 field goals, 2 for 2 at the line, total of 12 points for Davis thus far. Antonio Martin also displaying a good shooting touch around the basket. I believe the one that brought rain, the one that brought rain was launched by Jerry Saunders out near the top of the key.
Saunders,
smallest player on the floor.
Well, this is some kind of a shootout, like we predicted, 30-31. A minute 37 to go in the second quarter, and what can they do for an encore in the second half? I mean, it's just got to go right down to the old last buzzer, it looks like. So who knows? I'd like, really, to see something like this. It's a shame that one of the teams has to lose, you know?
It certainly is. It's going to go right down to the wire, I'm quite sure. These two teams are very evenly matched. Durant with the ball now. Right side to Saunders. Guarded by Thorne. Back to Durant, top of the key. His shot is blocked by John Phillips. Durant gets it back. And Durant is fouled by John Phillips of Williamson.
Williamson's 30, John Phillips.
That's John Phillips' first foul.
Number 5.
Jamie Phillips is already on the bench for Williamson with 3 personals.
Sends Durant to the line.
John Durant goes to the line now for Northfork on the 1-and-1. 1:28 to go in the first half. Durant gets ready, puts it up. It's good. Ties the score again at 31. Northfork, the visiting team on the scoreboard this afternoon, wearing the blue jerseys. Williamson in the home whites. Durant gets ready for a second shot. It's airborne. It's off the front of the rim. No good. Mark Klein rebounds underneath for Williamson. Pass up court to John Phillips. To Steve Thorne now. He's still in the backcourt, guarded by Durant. Finally gets it across the timeline. Comes to the right of the lane. Takes the 5-footer angle right and banks it in. Steve Thorne scoring for Williamson. That's his first basket. It's 33-31. The Wolfpack leads. Durant with it out front. Right wing to Saunders. Back to Durant. Williamson deploying defensively in a man-to-man. Pass batted away momentarily. Picked up by Antonio Martin at the right of the lane, and he puts it in, and he's fouled. The goal is good. Antonio Martin scores it for Northfork, tying the game at 33. And now Martin, with a chance at a 3-point play, can give his team the lead again on this foul shot. Martin gets ready. His shot is airborne. It is no good. Comes off there. Rebound. Underneath. Put back up and in by Jerome Johnson. Johnson following up the missed foul shot. Gives Northfork a 2-point lead now at 35-33 as the clock ticks down to 40 seconds to go in the first half. Steve Thorne with it. Left side to Mark Klein. He drives left baseline. Puts up the shots. No good. Rebounded by Northfork. Traveling violation in the backcourt. The Blue Demons turn it over. Williamson will have another opportunity now to tie the game before halftime. It's 31 seconds to go. Childress inbounds the ball to Thorne. Thorne dribbles out front. Looks like they're going to settle for one shot. Over to Childress and back to Thorne. Thorne bounces the ball, moves in toward the top of the key, brings it back outside now. Over to Childress and back to Thorne. 13 seconds. Thorne dribbling to his right, gets it to Klein along the right sideline, back to Thorne. To John Phillips from the right corner, takes the shot from there, high off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Johnson of Northfork. Down the floor come the Blue Demons with 1 second to go. Antonio Martin takes the shot. It was after the final buzzer, ending the first half. The score after the first half is Northfork 35 and Williamson 33. And we'll be back in 2 minutes with the first half scoring summary.
0-1.
In Supermarket, Route 52 Northfork. We accept food stamps and WIC coupons. Our store hours 8 to 8, Monday through Saturday, Sunday 1 to 6. Fresh meat and produce at Davidson Supermarket, Route 52 Northfork. The welcome mat's always out at First Park Bank of Northfork. That's right, you're always assured a warm welcome when you come into First Park for your important money transactions. There is much more to a bank than check cashing, you know. And that's why the friendly bankers always have the welcome mat out for you at First Clark Bank of Northfork. Member FDIC. Go Demons! Northfork Pharmacy, Main Street in Northfork. Service to the sick, and we fill all UMWA prescriptions. We also have a full line of health and beauty aids, Russell Stover candies, Ambassador greeting cards, and Futura patient aids. We're open 9 to 5:30 Monday through Thursday, 9 to 6 Friday and Saturday. That's the Northfork Pharmacy, Main Street, Northfork. This game is also brought to you by K&K Television Incorporated, your local cable television system. We also have HBO for your viewing 24 hours a day. That's K&K Television Incorporated, your local cable television system. Another proud sponsor of Demon Basketball, Thompson's Furniture, Northfork, for all your furniture needs. The friendly folks at Thompson's are rooting for the Demons.
Sure, but that doesn't make any difference. Nothing is upside down, or everything is upside down at the Civic Center. I'll tell you, Chuck Kinder and his crew did, really a great, fantastic job here. David, I mean, we've showed that now to the people down in Northfork and Williamson and all around down there. Let's see if we can get a picture of some of the people from Williamson. Maybe some relatives or somebody may be eyeballing this TV replay and say, hey, I saw you on television last night. Wave and smile, wave at the camera and all that kind of good stuff. Right now, Mark Klein is gone a little crazy here, 21 points in the first half, and two of those young men have 2 apiece, and one other one has 6, and that's the way I heard Frank Blake call it out. So,
right.
Is that about right, Ray?
That pretty well covers it for Williamson. Mark Klein doing most of the scoring in the first half, has 21 points at halftime on 9 field goals, 3 for 3 at the foul line. John Copley has 6 points here at halftime, 1 field goal, 4 for 4 at the foul line. 3 players have 2 points each. They are John Phillips, Jamie Phillips, and Steve Thorne. Team totals for Williamson in the first half, 13 field goals. The Wolfpack was 7 for 7 from the foul line for their total of 33. For Northfork, leading here at halftime, 35-33. Leading the way was John Davis. He's one of the Northfork co-captains. He had 5 field goals. He was 2 for 2 at the foul line for a total of 12 points in the first half for John Davis. Antonio Martin shows 8 points at halftime on 4 field goals. Jerry Saunders with 6 points on 3 fielders. John Durant has 5 points on 2 fielders, 1 for 1 from the foul line. Curtis Ray, the 5th starter, did not score. Jerome Johnson came off the bench and did a good job in a reserve role. He shows 2 field goals at halftime for 4 points. Team totals for Northfork, 16 field goals. The Blue Demons were 3 for 4 from the foul line for their total of 35. And Northfork leads here at halftime, 35-33 over the top-ranked Williamson Wolfpack. What a game it's been so far.
It sure has, Ray, and we'll be back. Will you rest your larynx or or tonsils or whatever, while I tell the folks about the First Clark National Bank in down in the old fair city of Northfork and the Elkhorn Valley grocery distributors down there, Northfork Pharmacy, Thompson Furniture, and Davidson Grocery and the K&K Cable Company, all making this game possible through the means of Cablevision in Northfork. Fine folks, shop there and go in and tell them, say thank you, that we enjoyed watching the Northfork Blue Demons do their thing here at the Civic Center, and they are doing a fine job of that this first half. All right, we'll be back with the tip-off right after 1 minute.
Getting ready for the start of the second half.
And the lights go down. The curtain is about to rise on part 3 of the AA Championship Basketball Show here at the Civic Center. The 70th annual playing of the Secondary Schools Activities Commission's Big Basketball Bash here on the hardboards at Chuck Kinder's place along the banks of the Elk and Kanawha. Well, I get all that in there.
I believe you did.
Sound like Howard K. there, didn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. Ready now for the start of the second half. As we begin play, Northfork owns a 35-33 lead over the Williamson Wolfpack. This one is for the Class AA State Championship. Mark Klein with the basketball for Williamson. Gets it over to Steve Thorne, top of the key. Left side to John Phillips, guarded by Martin over there. They swing it around to the right side to Klein again. Back to John Phillips on the left. To Thorne outside. Into the lane now. The ball is moved to Jamie Phillips. Takes the 5-foot shot from in front of the basket. It was no good. But as he went up, he was fouled. Foul was called on number 45, I believe. That is Curtis Ray. And that is Curtis Ray's third personal. So Ray becomes the first Northfork player to get his third foul. Jamie Phillips, who's shooting the foul now for Williamson, has 3 personals for the Wolfpack. He sat down a part of the first half on the bench. His first shot is no good. Rims the basket, comes out of there. Jamie Phillips with 2 points thus far on the afternoon. Gets ready for a second shot. It's airborne. It is also no good. Off the back of the rim. Rebounded by the Blue Demons. And Northfork attacks at the basket to the left here at the start of the second half. Antonio Martin in the lane. Puts it up. It's good. Martin now has 5 field goals. It's 37-33 in favor of the Blue Demons. Mark Klein with the ball. Back out front to Steve Thorne. To Klein on the right wing. 20-footer from the right wing is no good. Off the rim. On the rebound, the ball goes out of bounds. It will belong to Williamson. Last touch by Northfork, so Jamie Phillips will throw it in for the Pack from beyond the end line. Gets it into Mark Klein in the left corner. Back out front to Steve Thorne. Thorne goes back to Klein. He drives along the left baseline. Bounce pass into the left of the lane to Jamie Phillips. His turnaround shot is good, and he was fouled on the play. 37-35. The goal is good by Phillips. That's his second field goal of the game. Foul called on Curtis Ray, and that is the big Northfork center's 4th personal foul. 4 fouls on Curtis Ray as Jamie Phillips goes to the line for Williamson. Chance at a 3-point play now. Eyes the rim, puts it up. It's good. Phillips completes the 3-pointer and cuts the lead to 1 at 37-36. Action just underway here in the second half at the Charleston Civic Center Coliseum. This one is for the AA State Championship. The game between Northfork and Williamson. Shot taken from outside by Saunders of Northfork. It's no good. Rebounded by Davis. His follow-up is no good. And on the rebound, there's a whistle and a foul called. Foul called on the Wolfpack. Substitution into the ball game for Northfork. Number 41, Jerome Johnson, replaces Curtis Ray. The foul was on John Phillips. That is his second. All right, shot taken from the left corner is high off the rim, no good. And on the rebound, foul is called as Mark Klein and John Durant battle for the basketball. Foul was called on Durant. That's his first.
First personal.
Non-shooting foul. The Wolfpack will inbound the ball in the backcourt. Steve Thorne with it. Gets it over to Mark Klein. Back to Thorne. Thorne brings it across the timeline. Almost has it stolen there, but gets it across to Klein. Underneath now to Jamie Phillips, driving along the right baseline, and Phillips comes under and lays it in. Jamie Phillips gives his team a 38-37 lead now. For the first time in the second half, Williamson led in the basketball game until that shot by Saunders. Jerry Saunders comes down court quickly and scores for Northfork. Here's Steve Thorne back the other way for Williamson, all the way under to lay it in. Thorne, his second field goal. The Wolfpack leads 40-39. Saunders back the other way for Northfork. Shot taken from the right of the basket, no good. Rebounded by Durant in the lane. Feed in to number 41, Jerome Johnson. Shot taken from the right of the basket, no good. Battle for the rebound. Klein comes out of there with it for Williamson. Gets it over to Jamie Phillips and back to Klein. Klein gives it to Steve Thorne now, and Thorne dribbles it across the timeline to Mark Klein on the right wing. Klein moves in toward the basket. Bank shot, no good. Rebound fought for. Klein gets it underneath and scores for the Wolfpack. Mark Klein, 23 points in the game. 42-39, Williamson. Jerry Saunders with the basketball for Northfork. This is Williamson's biggest lead of the ball game. It's a 3-point lead for the Pack at 42-39. Pass into the lane to Antonio Martin. Turnaround shot left of the basket. Banks in there. Martin scores his 6th field goal. He has 12 points. It's 42-41. Here's Jamie Phillips with the basketball. Over to John Phillips. In the lane to Mark Klein. Pass underneath to Copley. Layup is no good. Rebounded by Northfork. Jerry Saunders with it. Crosses the timeline. Still dribbling. Gets it over to Durant. Outside, top of the key. Back to Saunders, right wing. Saunders pops it and hits it. 5 field goals for Jerry Saunders. 43-42. Northfork retakes the lead. Here is Steve Thorne with the basketball. Gets it over to John Phillips. Back to Thorne out front. To John Phillips, left wing. To Thorne at the top of the key now. Thorne dribbles it back out of there. Gets it into the foul circle to Jamie Phillips. Turnaround shot from the foul line is no good. Phillips follows his own shot and puts it in. Jamie Phillips scores. 44-43. Williamson by 1. As the lead seesaws back and forth in this tense battle for the state AA championship. Shot taken from the foul circle by Durant. And he hangs it in there. What shooting! John Durant scores for Northfork. The Blue Demons lead it 45-44. Mark Klein comes into the lane for Williamson. And as he goes, he is fouled. Foul was called on number 35, John Durant of the Blue Demons. That's his second. Mark Klein will go to the line for Williamson.
To the line for 2, Mark Klein.
He'll have 2 shots, fouled in the act of shooting. All right, Klein gets ready. His first one is good. Ties the game again at 45 rather. Klein can give his team the lead with the second shot. It's up. It's good. Mark Klein hitting 2 from the foul line gives Williamson the 46-45 lead. We're midway through the third period in the AA state championship game. Antonio Martin gets it back out front now to Durant for Northfork. Left wing to Davis. He holds it over his head. Dribbles down toward the left corner. Now reverses the basketball. Bounce pass into Jerome Johnson. There's a whistle and a foul called. Foul given out to Northfork. I don't believe there was a foul called on that play. Didn't quite get that signal. Jerome Johnson fires it from the left corner. No good. Rebound by Klein. Long leading pass down the floor to John Phillips. He comes up with it somehow along the baseline. Gets it back out front to Steve Thorne. To Jamie Phillips now. Jamie Phillips takes the shot from the right wing. No good. Rebounded by Martin of Northfork. Up court, the ball is moved to Jerry Saunders. Saunders crosses the timeline, comes into the foul circle, takes the jumper from the foul line and hits it. Jerry Saunders has 6 field goals. 47-46 now. Northfork retakes the lead. Long pass underneath to Mark Klein. His layup is no good. Off the back of the rim, but he was fouled. Clobbered along the baseline as he went up for the layup. Foul called on number 41, Jerome Johnson. That's his second. Going to the line for Williamson will be All-American Mark Klein. He'll have 2 shots.
Did he have 25?
Timeout, Northfork.
Yes, I believe it's 25. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 field goals. 5 for 5 at the line. 25 at this point for Mark Klein.
To a Rack's roast beef restaurant and enjoy a delicious Rack's.
At 3:15 to go.
Baked potato from the Rack's Potato Patch. And there are 4 Charleston.
All right.
locations to serve you.
Game in Northfork being brought away by First Clark National, Elk Valley, Elton Valley Grocery, Northfork Pharmacy, Thompson Furniture, Davidson's Grocery, and K&K Cable. They're the folks that are making this replay possible down there in the beautiful city of Northfork and along in the what river is that down in there?
You got me.
I thought there was I can't remember. I thought you did a lot of surveying work down in there for coal mines and sewer lines and water lines and things like that. Is that?
Well, I spent most of my time over in Mingo County, actually.
Oh, okay,
closer to Williamson than to Northfork.
Okay, I thought
Little town of Red Jacket.
Red Jacket, right? Okay. That's not nowhere near close to Northfork.
Not too close.
Okay,
Over
well.
in the next county.
Anyhow, there's all over the state of West Virginia, just fine people from everywhere, and of course we have a fantastic both schools, Williamson and Northfork and Logan, and it's everywhere down in there. They are basketball crazy.
They certainly are. They support their basketball teams. Here's Mark Klein at the line for Williamson. His shot rims the basket. Score remains 47 for Northfork and 46 for Williamson. Klein can tie the game now with his second shot. This one also rims the basket. It's no good. Rebounded by the Blue Demons. Up the floor comes John Durant to the top of the key. Feeds it into the foul circle to Antonio Martin. He brings it back out front. Right side to Saunders. Saunders guarded by Copley. Goes down the right sideline with it. Now back out front to Durant. To Saunders on the right wing. Saunders pops it from there and swishes it through. Jerry Saunders, his 7th field goal. 49-46. Northfork by 3. Jamie Phillips crosses the timeline, gets it up to Mark Klein. 20-footer angle right, swishes through for Mark Klein. Klein with 27 points now in the ball game. Saunders with it for Northfork. Called for traveling as he starts in toward the foul circle.
Looked good to me, but it didn't look good to the guy standing on the hardwood down there.
Right. Ball turns over to Williamson now. Jamie Phillips with it. Up court to Mark Klein. Klein takes the shot from the left of the foul circle. No good. Gets his own rebound in the lane. Puts it up in front. It's no good again. Rebounded by Klein. Back up. It's no good. Rebound this time by Antonio Martin of Northfork. And they're really battling under the boards here in the second half. Saunders with it. Top of the key for the Blue Demons. Gets it over to Antonio Martin. And he's called for traveling as he starts down the lane.
Number 5, Childress in the Wolfpack lineup.
All right, Walt Childress replaces John Copley in the Williamson lineup. We're down to 2:07 to go in the third quarter. Northfork 49, Williamson 48. This is the AA state championship game. Northfork seeking its 9th title in 10 years. Williamson, the top-ranked team in the state. Trailing by 1 at this point to the Blue Demons. Here's Steve Thorne with the ball out front for Williamson. Left side to John Phillips. Phillips looks under, can't get it in. Back out front to Thorne. Now Phillips takes the shot behind the Mark Klein screen. It's no good. Tipped up by Jamie Phillips, no good. And the rebound ripped off by Jerome Johnson of the Blue Demons. Down the floor comes Northfork. Jerry Saunders with it. Dribbles it back outside. Still dribbling. Now goes down the right wing to Martin. Martin gets it to Durant. Durant and Saunders are the Northfork ball handlers. Here's Durant shooting from the foul circle. No good. Rebound to Klein and Williamson. 1:13 to go now in the third period. Klein brings it up the court, and he's called for traveling. Mark Klein commits the traveling violation, turns the ball back over to the Blue Demons. John Durant will throw it in for Northfork, gets it into Saunders. Saunders guarded by Jamie Phillips. Picked up now by Childress as he crosses the timeline. Left side to Davis, and John Davis hits the shot from the left baseline. 51-48, Northfork by 3. 56 seconds to go now in the third period. Walt Childress with it, gets it to Jamie Phillips. Out front to Steve Thorne, right side to John Phillips. Right baseline, Mark Klein comes under, lays it up, no good. Rebound, Antonio Martin of Northfork. Over to Saunders. Jerry Saunders brings it up the floor for the Blue Demons. He's guarded closely out front, he turns it over. Steve
Hit the line, didn't he? The backcourt line.
Is that what it was, backcourt violation?
Yeah.
All right, he dribbled the basketball off the midcourt line, and the turnover gives the ball to Williamson now. Mark Klein throws it into Steve Thorne. 33 seconds to go. Over to Childress and back to Thorne. They're taking their time out front, waiting for the last shot, apparently, here in the third period. John Phillips with it now on the right wing, back out front to Thorne. Northfork drops back into a zone defense. Here's John Phillips, out front to Thorne. Saunders stabs at the basketball, can't get it. We're down to 10 seconds. Thorne comes to the right, gets it to Childress. Childress feeds off to Mark Klein in the lane, and Klein lays it in. 2 seconds, 1 second. And Northfork loses the basketball along the far sideline. It will belong to Williamson.
1 second.
51-50 now. We have 1 second to go.
Well, they're going to clear up to the baseline under the bucket.
Williamson will have possession of the basketball beyond the inline underneath its own basket. Pass into Klein, left corner, takes the shot. hits the front of the rim and comes off there, and that brings us to the end of the third quarter of action. The score after 3 periods, Northfork 51 and Williamson 50. We'll be back in 1 minute with the start of the fourth period.
Well, this is the way it's been for 3 quarters, 15-14, 33-35, then 51-50, and it's just been a, 1 point, 2 point either way. It hadn't not been any slowdown at this basketball, and I enjoy it, Ray, and I'm sure that the people that are watching it do too.
I hope they're enjoying it as much as I'm enjoying describing the action. It's really been a dogfight here at the Civic Center. Close game all the way. Jamie Phillips and Antonio Martin jump it up to start the fourth quarter. Mark Klein gets it over to Jamie Phillips and back to Klein. Stolen by Northfork rather. Durant with the ball. And as John Durant comes down the floor for Northfork, he's called for steps.
I doubt that. That one I doubt. What do you think? He didn't have control of the ball.
Somewhat questionable, I thought.
Okay.
Here's a pass into the backcourt to Steve Thorne. Down the left side to John Phillips. Back to Thorne now. To John Phillips in the left corner. Back to Thorne out front. He backs it back out of there. Williamson taking its time now here at the start of the fourth period. John Phillips with the ball in the left corner. Back to Thorne. To John Phillips again. Northfork staying back in that zone. 2-1-2 zone for the Blue Demons. Steve Thorne with it. Takes the shot from the top of the key. Off the front of the rim. No good. Rebound. Fought for. Jerry Saunders of Northfork comes out of there with it. Down the floor to Davis. His layup is no good. Rebounded by Durant. Follow-up shot no good. Steve Thorne rebounds for Williamson. Has the ball batted away along the near sideline. Batted away by John Durant. It will belong to Williamson in the backcourt. Number 14, Steve Thorne, throws it in for the Wolfpack. Gets it in to John Phillips. Back to Thorne. Thorne comes slowly across the timeline. We've played a minute here in the fourth period. 51-50. Northfork leads it for the AA state championship. Mark Klein with the ball. Comes into the foul circle. Takes the shot from there. Hangs it in there. Mark Klein scoring for Williamson. 52-51. The Wolfpack retakes the lead. Here's Antonio Martin with the ball. Takes the shot from the left of the foul line, extended off the rim, no good. Rebounded by John Phillips underneath for Williamson. Over to Jamie Phillips. Up floor to Walt Childress. The Williamson crowd now coming alive. At the far end of the court to the right, behind the Williamson basket. Steve Thorne comes into the foul circle, and as he goes, he is fouled by John Durant. That is Durant's third personal. Going to the line for the Wolfpack will be Steve Thorne. Williamson retaking the lead a moment ago, 52-51 on Mark Klein's basket. 6:32 to go in the fourth period. Steve Thorne will be at the line for the Pack on the 1-and-1. He eyes the basket, puts it up. It's off the front of the rim, no good. Rebounded underneath by Antonio Martin of the Northfork Blue Demons. Up the floor he comes, dribbles it across the timeline himself, gets it to Jerry Saunders. Back to Martin now on the left wing. Martin dribbles in toward the foul circle, back out front to Saunders. Saunders to Martin, he comes into the foul line, takes the jumper from there, off the rim, no good. Rebound fought for, picked up by Steve Thorne out front. Down the floor to Mark Klein, 3-on-2 break. Klein passes underneath to John Phillips for the layup, good. Beautiful pass that time from All-American Mark Klein to John Phillips, and Phillips laid it in, coming in from the left side. 54-51, the Pack leads it by 3. Here's a shot taken underneath by Davis. It's no good across the rim. Davis gets his own rebound. Left baseline, takes the jumper, no good. Rebound to Klein. Down the floor comes Williamson. Steve Thorne underneath, misses the layup. Klein rebounds. Right of the lane, puts it back up there. It's off the rim, no good. Jamie Phillips underneath, follows it up and scores for the Wolfpack.
Oh, wow, this is unreal. This is unreal. I don't see this on Thursday night on the USA Network on the NBA basketball. This is fantastic. What do we got going on?
Mark Klein, I believe, injured his ankle as he came underneath that last flurry of baskets. He's limping around out near midcourt. Williamson leads it now, 56-51. Klein trying to walk it off out near the midcourt line. Comes limping off the floor. The Wolfpack takes the timeout. We're down to 5:29 to go in the ball game. And Williamson has taken a 5-point lead. That is the Wolfpack's biggest lead of the ball game. Maybe the biggest lead of the game for either team.
Well, right. And as a matter of fact, it is. I think the 4 has been the most. And we're up to 5 now. I think they'll probably go down and get Red Hartman to wrap up Mark's ankle and leg there. I noticed that a couple of those other Williamson Wolfpack have more tape on them than Red Hartman keeps in his drawer back there in his training room. So, as a matter of fact, his back end of his station wagon is all tape.
Klein still limping a little bit here along the near sideline in front of the Williamson bench.
Wow, what a basketball game. This is the way it should be. The 2 finalists in a state championship game, it should be the best against the best, you know.
That's right.
I mean, really and truly, this when you get to this point in the a tournament, I mean, you got to be good, and those 2 are just fantastic. Those 2 teams just 10, 12 young men that are so. What is it, blessed with abilities and agilities that it's a little bit hard to figure out which one is which here. I mean, I'd just like to take the cup, get a saw, and cut it in half and give it to both of them, you know, a half to each one.
Right, it's a shame that either team has to lose this one. It's been such a good ball game. Close and hard fought all the way. All right, Saunders with it in the backcourt for Northfork, guarded by Jamie Phillips. Gets it up the floor now. Pass goes beyond the end line.
And I believe I was just going to say something, Ray, about I hadn't seen anything stupid in any. That was the first one, that turnover there. That was the first stupid mistake that was committed by either team, I think.
Okay, Jamie Phillips with the ball, gets it up to Mark Klein. Klein guarded by Durant. The Wolfpack with the basketball and with the 5-point lead. And we're down to 5:03 to go in the ball game as Mark Klein gets the ball on the right wing, dribbles it back out front, gets it over to Steve Thorne. Left side to John Phillips. They look in toward the lane. Now Phillips takes the jumper from the left side. No good. Rebounded by Jamie Phillips in the lane and put up and in. And Williamson now has a 7-point lead at 58-51. It's going to be an uphill fight now for the Blue Demons. Martin with the ball comes into the lane. And as he pivots, he is fouled by Mark Klein of Williamson.
That's only 2 on him.
Only Klein second.
Is second.
Going to the line for Northfork will be Antonio Martin.
2 shots.
Martin bounces the basketball. Eyes the rim, puts it up. It's good. 58-52 now. The Wolfpack by 6. Martin gets ready for a second shot. They have 4:37 to go in the ball game. Martin's second shot is also good. 5-point lead for the Wolfpack at 58-53. John Phillips gets it back to Jamie Phillips. Over to John now. Comes up the right side, pass to Childress on the right wing. Walt Childress brings it back out front to Steve Thorne. Thorne dribbling now between the rings. Gets it over to Mark Klein. They swing it around to the left side to John Phillips on the left wing. Back out front to Klein. Klein takes the shot from the right of the foul circle and hangs it in there. Mark Klein scoring for the Pack. 60 now to 53. 60-53, the Pack by 7. Here's Durant taking a shot from the left of the lane, no good. Jerome Johnson rebounds and follows it up, but he's called for traveling. Tough break that time for Johnson. He had the rebound in the lane, took too many steps before he put it back up. Replacing Johnson in the Northfork lineup now is number 45, Curtis Ray. And Ray re-enters the game with 4 fouls. Ray is sliding Mark Klein down floor here as Northfork deploys defensively in a full-court press in an attempt to get the ball back. Mark Klein with it now up front. Now the Blue Demons fall back into a zone as the ball is brought across the timeline. Thorne with it back out front to Mark Klein. Left side to John Phillips. Holds it over his head. Looks into the lane for the Cutters. Now takes the shot from the left wing. It's good. John Phillips, his 3rd field goal of the basketball game. He has 6 points. And with 3:33 to go in the ball game, the Williamson lead is 9 at 62-53. Antonio Martin travels with the basketball as he starts in toward the lane. Turns it back over to the Wolfpack. Williamson now, sensing victory. Gets the ball into John Phillips. Up court to Childress. Ball is batted out of bounds by Antonio Martin of the Blue Demons. It will belong to Northfork, to Williamson rather. They will inbound the ball from the far sideline. John Phillips throws it into Mark Klein. Klein guarded by Saunders. Out front to Steve Thorne. Right side, Walt Childress with the basketball. Back to Thorne. Thorne moves laterally to his left at the top of the key. Gets it over to John Phillips. Here's Jamie Phillips starting in toward the lane. Has the ball batted away, stolen by Northfork. Davis comes down court. Lays it up. It was blocked by Jamie Phillips, but Davis was called for traveling before he went up for the shot. Davis called for traveling. That will turn the ball back over to Williamson as the Wolfpack takes another timeout. With 3:06 to go in the ball game, the score is 62-53 in favor of the Williamson Wolfpack. All right, on your screen now, you see the Northfork High School cheerleaders. They are Naomi Davis and Alyssa Scott. Naomi and Alisa are the two captains of the cheerleading squad. Other members are Peristina Saunders, Algerita Wheeler, Sonia Armstead, Petrelia Cleary, Cosetta Stewart, and Betty Dotson. Northfork High School cheerleaders. And right now, the Northfork cheering section beyond the basket to our left
is kind of quiet.
A little bit quiet at this point. The Williamson fans, by way of contrast, whooping it up beyond the basket to the right from our vantage point here at the Civic Center.
What really turned it around? 53-62. Mark Klein hit a couple and turned his ankle, and I think that maybe inspired those the other members of that team. What do you think?
I think here in the fourth quarter, Northfork has committed a lot of turnovers here in the last 2 or 3 minutes. That's really hurt the Blue Demons. They've fallen behind now by 9 points.
I think you're right. I had mentioned the fact that I hadn't seen any stupid mistakes, and I think Northfork has committed 3 in a row here. 4, walking violations.
Right, walking and the midcourt violation and the loose pass over there along the far sideline that went out of bounds. Northfork having some problem here in the fourth quarter with turnovers. Walt Childress brings it up the court, goes all the way under, lays it up, blocked by number 45, Curtis Ray, picked up by Saunders in the backcourt. Saunders brings it back up floor for the Northfork Blue Demons, gets it over to Durant. Drives down to the left of the lane. His shot is off the back of the rim. No good. It's tipped in underneath by John Davis. Davis gets the basket. 62-55 now. Steve Thorne comes up the floor for the Wolfpack. Gets it across the timeline to Childress. Back to John Phillips now. Steve Thorne outside. Mark Klein has the basketball right side at quarter court. On the right wing to Steve Thorne. Klein and Thorne play catch with the basketball now. Williamson in no particular hurry. That pass almost got away, but it was retrieved by John Phillips to Thorne, and back out front now to Mark Klein. Childress on the near sideline gets it back out in the middle to Klein. Mark Klein dribbling the basketball between the rings. Over to Walt Childress now on the near sideline. Back to Klein out front in the middle. On the left side, the ball is moved to Steve Thorne. Thorne is guarded by Saunders. Gets it into Jamie Phillips. Back to Thorne. Northfork picking them up in a man-for-man defense now. The Blue Demons need the basketball. We're down to 151 as the ball is stolen now by the Blue Demons. John Davis with it. Brings it up the floor. Takes the shot from the right side. High off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Jamie Phillips. His outlet pass is stolen by Antonio Martin. Martin comes into the lane, almost loses the ball, but gets it back. Takes the shot from in front of the basket, no good. And on the rebound, John Phillips comes down with it for Williamson. And he is fouled by number 43, John Davis of the Blue Demons. That is Davis's third.
Commits his third.
And John Phillips will go to the line for the Wolfpack
44
on the 1-and-1.
For Williamson.
John Copley re-enters the Williamson lineup now, replacing Walt Childress.
John Phillips will be at the line on the 1-and-1.
Phillips at the line now for the Pack. 1:34 to go in the ball game. It's Williamson by 7, 62-55. Phillips' shot is good. 63-55 now. The lead is lengthened to 8 points. John Phillips getting ready for his second shot. It's in the air. This one is also good. 9-point lead for the Wolfpack, 64-55. Durant with the ball for Northfork, comes into the foul circle, takes the jumper from inside the foul line, and hits it. That is Durant's 4th field goal. He shows 9 points total on the afternoon. Northfork takes a timeout very quickly after that basket. We're down to 1:25 to go in the ball game. It's a 64-57 count now as Williamson has the 7-point margin. When play resumes, the Wolfpack will have possession of the basketball in the backcourt. On your screen now, you see the Northfork team huddled around its coach, Mark Page.
Well, they are the recipient of 8 straight awards here at the Civic Center and elsewhere. I think they even had a few of those, got them over in Morgantown, maybe one in Huntington.
Right.
Over a period of 8 years, they won 8 in a row, so.
And that was a national record, too. Northfork coached at that time by Jennings Boyd, who was essentially retired from coaching.
A great success.
They won 8 titles in a row from 74 through 81. Last year, they were beaten in the regionals, didn't make it back to the state tournament field. But this year, they are back in the final game once again, trailing at this point to the Williamson Wolfpack by a score of 64-57 with 1 minute and 25 seconds to go. The buzzer sounds, and the teams retake the floor.
With 1 minute and 25 seconds, you think the Pack can keep it on track?
They certainly have the upper hand at this point. It's going to be very difficult for Northfork to get back into the game, down by 7 with only 1 minute and 25 seconds to go. All right, Northfork comes out in a full-court press. John Phillips throws the ball into Jamie Phillips. John gets it back, comes up court, crosses the timeline, dribbling out front, gets it over to Mark Klein. Klein to Jamie Phillips. Jamie dribbles out front, and he's fouled by Antonio Martin. Martin pursuing Jamie Phillips that time, called for the reach-around foul. And Jamie Phillips will go to the line for Williamson on the 1-and-1. That was Martin's 3rd foul of the ball game. Going to the line will be Jamie Phillips.
Since 21, Jamie Phillips.
He has 13 points thus far in the ball game. He averages 15 for the Wolfpack. This shot rims the basket, no good. Rebounded by Martin of Northfork. So the Blue Demons have a chance here to cut it to 5. Saunders takes the shot from the left side. It's across the rim, no good. Rebound battled for between John Copley and John Durant. Copley for Williamson, Durant for Northfork.
Which one of the two do you pick in the blue to jump with the guy in the white?
All right, it looks like they picked Davis rather than Durant. Now Durant steps in place of Davis. So it will be Durant jumping against Copley of Williamson in the Northfork foul circle to the left. Referee George Pack throws the ball up. It's tipped to Mark Klein. Klein still dribbling around in the backcourt. Gets it up the floor to Steve Thorne. Thorne crosses the timeline, gets it back to Klein. Klein's pass to Copley, left of the basket. Copley passes now back to Klein. It's batted away, stolen by Williamson, by Northfork rather. Down the floor they come. Durant comes under, lays it up, no good. Rebound by Copley of Williamson. Gets it across to Steve Thorne. 40 seconds to go. Down the floor, the ball is moved to Jamie Phillips. He comes under, lays it up. It's blocked, but Phillips was fouled. Jerry Saunders commits the foul. And Jamie Phillips will go to the line for Williamson for 2 shots. We're down to 36 seconds now. The Williamson fans, since victory, they're really whooping it up beyond the basket to the right at the far end of the floor. Timeout taken. 64-57. Williamson leads Northfork here in the AA tie game.
Northfork this season, I'm going to say they have finished the season. It is 36 with a record of 20 and
4 is what they'll be after this one, yes.
That's not too shabby.
They certainly have nothing to be ashamed of.
No.
Of their 4 losses, 3 of them will have come at the hands of the Williamson Wolfpack.
And the other 2 with Logan?
The other loss was to Oak Hill in a Christmas holiday tournament way back in December in Princeton by a score of 74-70. That was the opening game of the season for the Blue Demons.
So, and they went on to win. That's really a tribute to fine coaching and fine a feeder system they've got down around the Northfork, and of course Jennings Boyd is, I guess, built a dynasty down there, and this young man that's taken over as what's his name?
Mark Page is the assistant coach who is running the show here at the state tournament. Henry Winkfield is the head coach.
Right.
But, Henry is ailing. Mark Page has been handling the team here during the state tournament. Mark was a starter for that Northfork team of 1974 that won the first of those 8 consecutive titles. So he played at Northfork under Coach Jennings Boyd. Later went on to play college ball at Bluefield State, I believe. At the line is Jamie Phillips for Williamson. His first shot is off the front of the rim, no good. Score remains 64-57. Second shot is good. 65-57 now. The Wolfpack by 8. Here is Northfork attacking at the basket to the left. Durant feeds off underneath to Antonio Martin. His turnaround shot is no good, but as he went up, he was fouled. Now, this is exactly what Williamson didn't want to have happen. Clock is stopped with 29 seconds to go, and Antonio Martin is at the foul line for 2 shots. Gets the ball from referee Eddie Elmore. Here is Martin's foul shot. He rims the basket, no good. Tough luck shot by Martin that time. Antonio Martin with 14 points in the ball game thus far. He averages 20 points per game for the Blue Demons. All right, he's getting ready now for his second shot. That foul, incidentally, was on John Phillips of Williamson. That was his 4th foul. Martin sinks the second one. It's 65-58. Klein now double-teamed in the backcourt. Gets it over to Jamie Phillips. Phillips is held and fouled by number 43, John Davis. So Jamie Phillips will come to the other end of the floor, and he'll be there on the 1-and-1 at the foul line for the Wolfpack.
Call us on 43, John Davis, his 4th.
Jamie Phillips.
Once again.
Went to high school in Dunbar. Went to junior high school in Dunbar, and transferred to George Washington, I understand, for his 10th grade year. Finally ended up in Williamson for his senior season here. All right, he's ready for his second shot. It's up. It's good. Missed the first one. 66-58 now. Williamson by 8. 18 seconds to go. Here's the shot taken from the right baseline by Curtis Ray. It's no good, but it's tipped back in by Davis. Northfork still fighting. They call another timeout. That basket was scored by John Davis underneath and cuts the lead to 6 at 66-60. We're down now to 13 seconds to go.
Okay, I want to remind everybody that the First Clark National Bank, they're helping sponsor this ball game, and if you have you'd like to discuss some money situation, I go in and talk to those folks over there, First Clark National. Elkhorn Valley Grocery, happy to be part of this coverage. Northfork Pharmacy, so you need a prescription filled, why they use all those fresh apothecary items. I guess it's better. I used that word there. What does that mean? It came to mind.
That sounded good.
Apothecary.
Yes.
The only apothecary in Northfork. And Thompson Furniture. Behind the Wolf, Northfork Blue Demons all the way, and Davidson Grocery, and K&K Cable. Watch it where you're watching this replay of this fantastic AA basketball game. The people in Northfork aren't quite happy about it, but they did win the other game, and it is oh, look at here. The inbounds pass by Mark Klein is Oh, and that's not Klein. I saw, if you look.
Klein passed it to John Phillips that time, out of bounds, and Phillips made the inbounds pass, which was batted back out of bounds, so Williamson retains possession in the backcourt. John Phillips throws it in to Jamie Phillips. Lead pass up the floor to Mark Klein. He gets it, dribbles across the timeline, 6 seconds. Ball batted away and stolen now by Northfork. Down the floor they come. Jerry Saunders takes the shot from the left wing. It's no good, and that brings us to the end of the ball game. The Williamson Wolfpack has won the 1983 AA State Championship in West Virginia by defeating the Northfork Blue Demons here this afternoon in the title game by a score of 66-60. We'll be back.
No, we'll just keep it right here. Let it all happen.
Oh, okay. We'll stay right here for the awards presentations. So the Wolfpack has won the state championship here this afternoon by beating Northfork behind their great All-American Mark Klein. We'll have the scoring totals for you here in a couple of minutes.
John Davis 16.
On your screen you see the Williamson Wolfpack celebrating its state championship out near midcourt.
John Copley 6 points. John Phillips 8.
We've seen both Gail Catlett and Carl Tacey in the crowd here today, and I imagine they'll be vying for Mark Klein services just as soon as this awards presentation ends.
They got quite a few the young men out there that have enough talent to play at either place. Well, at Wake Forest or Tacey? Where is he?
At Wake Forest.
Wake Forest, yeah. And let's see, Gail Catlett is where? Clarksburg. Roosevelt Wilson.
Well, he's up there in the northern part of the state.
Over there on the banks, the Cheat River. Over at Morgantown. WVU. I shouldn't take that so lightly. But anyhow, we saw a great basketball show for 32 minutes. Just super. And of course, as I've said during the ball game, we hate one winner, and it always has to be a winner and a loser. And number 21 is cutting down the net over there on that side, and I believe that's Jamie Phillips. Right. And he is getting the scissors. Oh, he's going to do it for the whole team.
I think what it came down to there in the fourth quarter was the fact that the Northfork team was plagued with turnovers there in the final 5 or 6 minutes. Yeah. It was a close ball game until that point. Williamson broke it open when Northfork started turning it over. And here's John Copley now, climbing the ladder. He gets his turn.
At the shears.
At the shears. Cutting down the net at the right end of the floor.
Happy bunch of people out there, and of course, justifiably so. They did a great job. I have the fouls, and this is really strange. Williamson committing, as far as I can count, 9 personal fouls is all that I had on record for. And Northfork had 7, 10, 14, 18. They came out with an aggressive style of basketball very, very early in the first quarter, and did not commit any of those, like I said, stupid plays like causes turnovers, and it didn't start to tell on them until late in the middle of the fourth quarter or whatever, and so therein lies the ball game. I mean, balanced scoring-wise, I think you'll probably have those totals to let us know that field goals and what have you were.
Mr. Anthony. Just now said that I'm Mike Christ, Professor Rock in high school. They said they wanted.
Okay, just can you wait a second? We're finishing up this ball game here. Okay, that's good. I found a man from Grafton.
Finally.
Right. Okay, they're getting ready for the awards, Ray, and as soon as they do that, I'll let you take over and give they're going to get the ladders out and do the other end of the court now.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they're going to let somebody cut those down on that side. Are you looking at the crowd from Northfork and the Blue Demons, you know, they got number 2 in the state. That's not too bad.
So Northfork ends the season with a 20-4 record, certainly a very commendable record for the Blue Demons. Williamson, of course, finishes 25-2, and the Wolfpack has now won 24 in a row since 2 early season losses to Tate's Creek of Lexington, Kentucky, and Fairmont West High School.
In the Christmas storm, wasn't it?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, let's pick up Sam, all right?
All right.
The total team effort, a total individual effort, and a total community effort. We can, on behalf of the Board of Appeals and the Secondary School Activities Commission, it is a pleasure for me to congratulate all of you. Now for the awards. Presenting the awards is Mr. Bill Hammond, Assistant Executive Secretary, Mr. Jim Lane, Principal of Northfork High School, Mr. Jimmy Morris, represents the State School Boards Association, and Mr. Sam Scalapio, Principal of Woodson and Irving High School. For the Best Cheerleaders Award, it goes to Wheeling Central. I need a girl, here we go. The best cheering section goes to Wheeling Central. Northfork High School, Antonio Martin. From Williamson High School, Jamie Phillips. From Northfork High School, John Davis. From Williamson High School, Mark Klein. From Williamson Central High School, Joe Lufkin. I hope Joe's in the audience or his coach can come down and get his award. From Grafton High School, John Palstrom. From Northfork High School, Jerry Saunders. And from Wheeling Central High School, Joe Waha.
Don't they look gorgeous?
The all-tournament team posing with their trophies.
While they're giving the individual awards out, Ray, you want to run the totals?
Okay, for Northfork this afternoon, Leading the way was John Davis. He had 18 points on 8 field goals, 2 for 2 at the foul line. 18 for co-captain John Davis this afternoon in his final game as a Northfork Blue Demon. Antonio Martin has 15 points in the ball game on 6 field goals. He was 3 for 5 at the foul line. Chipping in with 14 points today was Jerry Saunders on 7 field goals. John Durant had 9 points on 4 fielders, 1 for 1 at the foul line. Curtis Ray, the other starter, did not score in the ball game. Jerome Johnson, in a reserve role, came off the bench to score 2 field goals for 4 points. And the team totals for Northfork: the Blue Demons had 27 field goals. They were 6 for 8 at the foul line for their total of 60 points. For the Williamson Wolfpack, Mark Klein, of course, leading the way.
We're doing all of the Northfork right now, and then we will wait till they come out and get their awards, and then you'll give them their totals. All right?
All right, fine.
Let's just look and see. Listen to what Sam is going to do.
His school, Northfork High School, the runner trophy.
Coach Henry Winfield receiving the runner-up trophy, accepting it in behalf of the Northfork Blue Demons.
Standing ovation.
Standing ovation for Henry Winfield. He succeeded Jennings Boyd as the coach at Northfork 2 years ago.
Okay, now we'll get to the awards for the double-A champions for the state of West Virginia.
The Williamson Wolfpack, as the roar erupts from the fans beyond the basket to the right from our vantage point. The Williamson delegation very happy. The Wolfpack wins this afternoon by a score of 66-60, and leading the way for Williamson was All-American Mark Klein. 14 field goals, 5 for 7 at the foul line. 33-point total for Mark Klein this afternoon. Jamie Phillips gets his season average of 15 today on 6 field goals, 3 for 8 at the foul line. John Phillips scores 8 points on 3 fielders, 2 for 2 at the foul line. John Copley chips in with 6 points on 1 field goal. He was 4 for 4 at the foul line. Walt Childress did not score. He was the other starter. Steve Thorne came off the bench and scored 4 points for the Wolfpack on 2 field goals. So the team totals for Williamson here this afternoon: 26 field goals, 14 of 22 from the foul line, for a total of 66. And on your screen you see the winning Williamson Wolfpack. And here's the presentation of the state championship trophy. Handed over to Mark Klein along with the game ball. Right.
There's a happy bunch of youngsters. And again, the crowd is going to stand up.
Standing ovation for the Williamson team.
What more can we say? A fantastic finish for a great season, and well, we just want to say to thank all the folks down there at First Clark National and the Elk Valley Grocery Distributing, Northfork Pharmacy, Thompson Furniture, Davidson Grocery, and K&K Cable are all making it possible for you to view this in Northfork. And we want to congratulate the fine Northfork Blue Demons on a great season and a great, fantastic finish for Williamson. I'm Harry Anthony.
And I'm Ray Hudnall.
And we hope you've enjoyed the WESN coverage of the AAA championship game between Northfork and Williamson. This has been another WESN local sports presentation.